Hello, and welcome back to Sober Living. I want to continue to thank everyone that has viewed and liked and subscribed to my little channel here. Uh, Doing this for me is not easy. I am not a get out in front of a big crowd and talk kind of guy. Uh, I'm not even really a talking kind of guy, anyways. I'm more of the quiet type, keep myself to myself. But I'm really passionate about what I'm doing here, and I really do want to help folks. So, with that being said, let's continue and get right into this thing. All right. When you first get into recovery, you're going to have a lot more time on your hands. There ain't going to be no more running and chasing stuff down. There ain't going to be no more got to go here and wait and get a hold of or drive way over yonder. And, there ain't going to be no more of that. So, you know, uh, the best thing to do is go get you a scheduling book. Go and get you a planner. And you're going to need one anyways for when you get into recovery. Depending on how you got into recovery, whether it be a detox center or maybe even your local hospital. Uh, routine. Routine is a big part of it. You do this at a certain time, and then when you get done doing this, you move on and do this. You eat at a certain time, and that's where that planner is going to come into effect. Plus, when you get into this, there's going to be a lot of appointments, doctor's appointments, counselor meetings, groups, checkups, EKGs, just the normal stuff when you get into this stuff or when you get into recovery itself. So yeah, a planner is a necessity, and a lot of people ask me, well, what if I'm not an organized person? And a lot of folks ain't, but there's really only one answer to that, and that's, you know, get organized, or at least get this part of your life organized, because that's kind of the big thing is organization and getting into that. And if you got it wrote down, you're more apt to do it. It's not up in your head and it comes 3 o'clock and it's like, well, I'm supposed to go hiking at 3, but I think I'm just gonna just blow that off and do something else. And if it's wrote down, you're more apt to do it. It's easier to change when it's just in your head. That's kind of what that is. And with this spare time, find you some hobbies. Me myself, I've recently got into woodworking. Uh, Not good at it, not good at all. Uh, but I'm getting better, and I really enjoy it. It's something for me to focus on and kind of escape the day to day stresses and just kind of lose myself and just concentrate on the wood. Uh, if you really ain't got nothing like that or don't know yet, kind of revert back to before you started using. What did you like to do? Did you like to go play basketball? Uh, Maybe you like to skateboard. Maybe you like jogging. And it's all out there. It's all out there, and you don't have to have a lot of money to go out and do stuff and have fun. And that's really what it all is we're it's always about replacing those bad habits with good habits and healthy habits. That's the biggest thing, is just getting that routine of healthy habits, and and you're going to be able to tell a difference in your body after just a short little while of doing all this stuff, and exercise. I've been told that exercise is the best way to alleviate depression and anxiety. And I'm gonna be honest, I suffer from a anxiety disorder, and I also suffer from bipolar depression. And I'm not one to exercise, I got enough exercise, I thought, when I was younger, and I'm just not one to get out and go running. If I'm running, then there's something running after me. That's about the only time I run. But you don't have to go out and be full bore all the time. Just get out and walk around the neighborhood or something. So that's a real big thing, is just get out and get you some vitamin D from the sun, and just enjoy yourself. Uh, Something else I wanted to talk about is what they call grounding exercises. This is kind of to get your mind off of those triggers. And triggers is something else I want to discuss in this episode. Triggers is one of those things that, say, you go meet your guy in a certain place every time. Well, when you get sober and clean, when you're driving down the road and you come by that spot where you used to meet your guy, well, that's a trigger, because it's going to bring that memory right back, and uh, bring everything about that lifestyle right back, and you'll be right there in the middle of it. And there's no way around this. There's all kinds of triggers, and I've been fighting this fight for a while now, and my triggers are still there. Uh, One of my big triggers is bad news or devastating news. That is my worst trigger, and the the process of it is trigger, thought, craving, use. And if you can get that thought out of your head, then that'll be great. And also, addicts have something that they have coined monkey mind. You go from one thing to the next. You swing from one idea to the next idea to the next idea to the next idea. And it's all about using. Once you think about using, oh, I gotta get it, I gotta have it. What can I do it? I can do this, or I can call this guy, I can do this, or I can go out, and that's something that you want to get away from. That's something you don't want to do. You don't want to get hung up on one thing, And one thing that I like to do, it's really meditation, but it's kind of not. It's kind of my own twist on it. I do it at least twice a day. I do it when I wake up. I kind of just sit there on the edge of the bed with my eyes closed, and I focus on my breathing. I'm very aware of breathing. I'm thinking about everything that I kind of need to do that day. The have to do's, the need to do's, and would like to do stuff that day. The next time is at bedtime, and at bedtime is kind of the big one. It's kind of letting everything go from the day, and like I said, it's pretty much just meditation. It ain't rocket science, It's just kind of sitting there, breathing and just clearing your mind. Uh, Another good exercise that some therapists recommend is focusing on a object and listing to yourself the features of that object. Like, I'm going to focus on this chair right here. Okay, well, the color of it is teal blue. Okay, well, it's made of cloth, so it feels kind of rough, but soft at the same time. Okay, and this is made of wood. It's kind of grainy, but it's slick. And you're just naming off just features of that thing, just trying to kind of ground yourself. And, as silly as it sounds and as dumb as it sounds, it works. It really does work. I wouldn't put it on this channel if it didn't work. Something else to be aware of once you start this is your emotions. When I first got clean, very first got clean, my emotions ran rapid. I was either on top of the world, excited, feeling like I won the lottery, or I was on the bottom of the ocean, as down and as blue as I could get for no good reason. Being up there on top of the world or at the bottom of the ocean, no good reason. But it's part of that getting sober thing. It's going to come. You're going to go through it. It gets better with time. Don't let it get discouraging. And something that can help you not get discouraged when you're scheduling your time in your planner every day that you're sober, put you a little star there on the page or on that day, or a little cross or a heart, anything just as significant, to show that, look, I was sober that day. Or write it in big old words, big old capital letters, bold, underline, sober, just something to let you know, something to visually see and touch, to know that, hey, I'm doing good, and look back, I've done good all these days. So that's a really good thing to do. The emotions thing, most addicts have some kind of underlying mental illness to contribute to the the road that they have taken in life, and they're trying to self-medicate themselves. So I always encourage everybody to go have like a almost like a evaluation done, and this will come when you get a counselor or a therapist, or just whatever you want to call them. And like I said in the last episode, that right there is priceless. Just the partnership. I really wouldn't say that it's a friendship, but it really is. The lady that I talked to, I tell you, I'll be honest, I absolutely love her. I kind of look at her as the big sis that I never had, that's not scared to tell you that you're really mucking up a good situation, that you're about to turn something good into something really bad for you, or you need to get out there and take that chance and go for whatever that you're not wanting to really do, and making excuses not to do. That's what they're really good for, is to give you that, little extra kick in the butt to get you out there. Something else you need to do, like I said, I got my notes down here. That's why I keep on looking at the ground. Something else you need to do is, you know, take a take a good long hard look back ever how long it's been since you first started to use, and try to figure out what that main reason was that made you want to go that route, that made you turn to that choice. Uh, Maybe it was just being part of the crowd, or just sheer boredom. But usually it's not. Usually there was something significant that happened that made you do something like that. Like I said, with me, it was my marriage that was failing, that got me kind of in that game. Uh, you're once you get into this, you want to stay active in your recovery, and really all that means is, you need to be a part of classes and groups, and you know do your own research about everybody's got internet now on their phone or whatever. Do your own research, and there's a lot of info out there these days on just addiction itself. It don't really matter what you're addicted to, uh, just addiction itself. I have had, he's passed now, a uncle, and yesterday I think was his birthday. And excuse me, they told him he drank. He was a severe alcoholic, really bad. And they told him, look, uh, you drink again and do this, and you're going to die. And folks don't really get how severe addiction is if you've never lived that life or been around anyone like it. If somebody told you the next time you go out walking you're going to die, would you go out again to walk? No, probably not. But they told him, the next time you drink like this, you're going to die. And it wasn't 2 weeks later. He pulled him one, and he never pulled back out of it. His kidneys actually shut down, and I was there. The urine collection bag on the side of his bed, it looked like straight bourbon. You couldn't. It was a horrible, horrible thing to see. It was straight horrible. Scary, really. Scary. Uh, Another thing that you gonna want to do. Everybody says that you need to make friends. You need sober friends. You need to cut out the bad crowd out of your life. Well, I'm not too much on friends per se. Because you're going to meet folks wherever you go to get your treatment at. But I'm going to tell you right now, in case you didn't already know this, not everybody's there for the right reason. And if you get in with somebody, and right there's that temptation again to go and get right back on that road again. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not hard to do. It is not hard to do. You'll be in bad shape before you even know it. I'm a talking out of experience, of course. It is, go maybe somewhere like church, or maybe some kind of like a AA meeting or NA meeting. And I'm gonna tell you, they got those meetings everywhere now. Like I said in my last episode, times have changed, There really is a lot of support out there for folks. And that's about all I wanted to say for this episode. I was afraid that this episode wasn't going to be all that good, but I think it turned out pretty all right. I'm pretty pleased with it, and I think that some of the higher ups that I go and see and talk to would be pretty proud of it. So that makes me proud of it. Uh, you need to take pride in everything you do. I don't care if it's making a bologna sandwich. You need to take pride in the way that bologna sandwich turns out and the way it looks. A lot of that is missing in today's world. Everything's so computer generated, and you take pride in your work. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself. And on the last little note, don't remember all them times you was high and a hooting and a hollering and having a good time. You need to focus on all them times you couldn't crawl out of bed and you was sick as a dog, and you thought that just death would be a step above where you was at. Keep that on your mind, and until I see you again, this is Brian saying, we'll see you next time. See you have a good one.